There are more than 80 different species of whales alive today. And despite their immense size, they're incredibly graceful in the water. But did you know that some whales can also be quite chatty? Humpback whales are known for their beautiful songs, but did you know that songs can travel across entire oceans? Here's how whales talk to each other from miles away. First, let's look at humpback whales. Humpbacks are famous for their elaborate songs that can last up to 30 minutes. These songs are made up of a series of clicks, whistles, and pulses that can be as loud as 188 decibels. To put that in perspective, a blue whale's call is about 190 decibels, while a jet engine is only about 140 decibels. And don't forget that sound is measured in a base 10 logarithmic scale called decibels. So moving up 10 decibels means that the sound is 10 times louder. A very loud sound indeed. Even though these songs are super loud, humpback whale songs can only be heard within about 16 miles or 26 kilometers of their source. The reason why is because sound travels differently through water than it does through air. Sound travels much faster in water. That's why you can hear a clap underwater almost instantaneously. On the other hand, sound also loses energy much more quickly in water. Because of this, the farther away you get from the source of the sound, the more it loses power and the harder it is to hear. But there is one big difference between sound in water and air. In air, sound waves move by vibrating molecules that bump into each other like dominoes passing on vibrations that travel as a wave. In water, however, sound waves travel by creating areas of high and low pressure called compression and rarefaction. These alternate areas of high and low pressure move through the water like a domino, like a Mexican wave rippling through a crowd at a football game. These sound waves move much faster in water than they do in air. That's why you can hear a splash so quickly when it happens underwater. In order to make their calls travel farther, humpback whales use something called a sonar. SONAR stands for sound navigation and ranging. This is a system that uses sound waves to measure distances. By sending out a burst of sound and then listening for the echoes, whales can tell how far away objects are. Whales can also use sonar to communicate with each other over long distances. They do this by sending out a series of clicks and then listening for the echoes. By analyzing the returning sound waves, they can determine the size, shape, and distance to the object that they're in front of. Some scientists think that whales might even use sonar to create images in their minds of what they're looking at. Researchers from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts trained a humpback whale named Nick to recognize the direction and distance to a human diver using sonar. The team played back recordings of humpback whale vocalizations near Nick and then measured the whale's response time to each playback. They found that the closer the simulated source was to Nick, the faster he responded. This suggests that whales can use sonar to quickly identify the location of potential mates or tasty food. Humpback whales aren't the only ones that use sonar to communicate over long distances. Sperm whales, which are the largest toothed whales on planet Earth, use sonar clicks to find prey. And these clicks can travel up to 1,300 miles, or over 2,000 kilometers. That is about as far as you could travel by car from London to Amsterdam and still hear the clicks. Researchers believe that these clicks help them find deep-dwelling prey, such as giant squid and fish. Blue whales, the largest animals on planet Earth, also use low-frequency sounds to communicate. Their calls can travel up to 500 miles or over 800 kilometers. That's about the same distance as flying from New York City to Miami. Blue whales typically make two types of sounds, calls and pulses. Calls are long, low-frequency sounds that can travel long distances. Pulses are shorter, higher-frequency sounds that are used for echolocation. Using sonar isn't just a handy tool for finding food and communicating over long distances. It also helps protect whales from predators. When a killer whale attacks its prey, it uses a tactic called beaching. Killer whales swim alongside their prey and then suddenly turn and ram into it at high speed. This can stun or kill the prey, making it easier for the killer whales to eat. However, this tactic doesn't work if the prey can hear the killer whales coming. That's where sonar comes in. By sending out sound waves, whales can detect the presence of predators, even if they can't see them. It's fascinating to learn how whales use sonar not just to navigate and hunt. but also to communicate with each other over long distances. These amazing creatures use a variety of sounds to stay safe and find food, and they're able to process the information they receive in order to make quick decisions. As we continue to learn more about the world around us, we're sure to uncover even more fascinating details about the lives of these incredible animals.